All right, hello and welcome to our first episode of Douglasville Impact of the new decade, right?
Oh,
Yeah, we're starting fresh. So I'm Jason Post, your host of the podcast, and joining me today at the table is, once again, Mr. Aaron Sarowitz.
Hello.
Ms. Allison Parker.
Hello.
And joining us in our fourth seat today is Miss Amy McCoy.
Hello.
And she's going to talk to us about all kinds of fun things and a little bit about the state of our community from her perspective later on. So it's going to be a fun show. Great new year so far. I have a feeling this is going to be the best podcast of the decade when we're done.
Well, I'm kind of hoping
so
for
far,
that.
anyway.
Right.
So far.
Yeah, so far, okay.
So far, so good.
You don't have to point out that it's the only one yet. So let's jump right in. We'll talk a little bit about some news and things we got going on in our community and see what's happening. What is the big news that's been going on in the community?
So we started off the new year with the swearing in of three council members and the mayor.
Correct.
So the Mayor Robinson was reelected. Councilman Mark Adams was reelected.
Yep.
Councilman Coach Chris Watts was reelected.
A little.
And then we had Councilman Howard Estes elected to represent the citizens in Ward 5.
Right.
So we had their swearing-in ceremony last week, Thursday.
Big turnout.
Very big turnout.
A lot of people showed up.
Yeah.
Great turnout.
I'd like to congratulate Terry Miller for making Mayor Pro Tem.
That's right.
I
We
think that was
elected a
awesome.
new mayor
too.
pro tem as well.
That's right.
It was a big night.
It was very
It was
big.
They
big.
reassigned all the committee assignments and what all that they do. So
They renamed all the committees. So
I think that's a common theme no matter what
Yeah.
group you're a part.
That's
2020,
right.
the new vision,
that's
right?
right. Yes. Yep.
Everybody's got a
That's
new
right.
vision.
Never gets
focus on
old.
the future.
Right. So that's the big news so far for 2020.
That was a big one.
Yeah. Right. We have a lot of events coming up, so I guess we'll segue right into those.
Look at you.
I know. I'm going to be the new host in 2020, apparently.
Excellent.
That's what I'm talking about, Aaron. Well, we are starting the new year off with a few events for the community. With all of these events, if you'd like more information, you can visit us on Facebook, on our website, Instagram, Twitter, all City of Douglasville GA. So the first one we have coming up is MLK Day of Service, which is being hosted by our Keep Douglasville Beautiful department. We will be planting over 60 trees at Douglas County High School. That will be on MLK Day, which is January 20th at 9 a.m. So if you're interested in volunteering, come on out and join us. We are asking that you help bring some supplies to help us out. So shovels, rakes, gloves, anything you could think of to help plant trees, we can use them.
And ponchos in case it rains.
Great idea.
It's supposed to be really nice weather so far.
I hope
I know
so.
it's far out, but right now,
We're in Georgia.
Right.
Georgia.
Yeah.
We're going through we have a few different seasons going on in one day.
But right now it looks like it's going to be nice. It'll be
Yeah.
a fun, like playing the dirt type day.
Yep.
So if you've driven by Douglas County High School in the recent months, you notice a whole lot of trees gone. So this is basically replacing all those trees and
okay.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, they took all those out. So this is putting them all back. We got a list of all the different types of trees they're putting in. More trees than I realized existed, I guess.
Hopefully took
Lots of really
pollen
nice
into
trees.
account.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Keep Douglasville Beautiful looks at those things.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
they work with a tree board. So, yeah, you better believe that they've looked at the type of tree that we need for the area and for pollen and all kinds of stuff.
How they interact
that's
with the
good.
soil.
Oh, yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Things
Oh,
that
yeah.
we probably don't think.
Yeah, don't
We
have a
haven't a
green
clue.
thumb. I don't.
Yeah.
I
And
probably
the-
won't be planting those trees. They'll be dead in a
So
week.
we can just show up. Yeah, they'll have the holes there. We just got to dig some holes, help put the tree in, cover it up. So we're just helping with that part. We don't have to know anything.
I'll just say a little
It's
prayer.
perfect.
over each one.
Yeah, right.
Grow.
That's a good idea.
So it'll be a fun day. So they've got all the. So if you want to come out and help, just bring your shovels and gloves out and be ready to dig some dirt.
And if you don't have those items, you can still show up and we'll have some handy
absolutely.
for you.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to bring your family out and not only honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but also make an impact here in your local community. So great opportunity. Next up, we have the I-20 beautification groundbreaking, which is going to be January 21st at 10:30 a.m. So you'll join the city as we kind of celebrate turning over a new leaf over at the I-20 Interpass and just trying to beautify it, add some more greenery and color to it so that you're not just driving by a bunch of open land with nothing there. So
The plans look really nice.
I'm really
far.
excited for that. I
Yeah.
think for a long time now, we've just been waiting for, Douglasville to shine as people are just driving past on I-20.
Yeah.
And with the more people that flock here, I think, why not be proud of where the exit you get off of,
Absolutely.
right? And I just, I'm happy they cleaned out all the trees and got a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
debris out. And so, I'm ready for the replacements. I just know it's going to be beautiful.
They've done a lot of the
Yeah.
start, and we were
Nice.
supposed to do this groundbreaking this week. But of course, it hasn't stopped raining yet.
Just got a mudslide. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we'll target next Tuesday, and we'll be out there, and they'll get that work started. And over the next course of this year, it's going to start looking really nice.
Yeah.
It'll be a beautiful gateway to the city. We're also looking at gateway signage to go there as well,
Nice.
with our new branding and stuff like that. So there will be a beautiful new face for the city as people drive through I-20. Yeah,
Yeah, good.
So
definitely catch the attention
Stop
of
and
visitors.
Yeah, stop and
Yeah.
spend your money here.
Oh, yeah. We'll take it. And next up on our list, we have the Mill Village Park groundbreaking, which will be January 30th at 3:30 p.m. at Mill Village. And this, again, is a ceremony to celebrate the new improvements that we will be making to Mill Village Park. So,
yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, so we've talked last year, every episode we talked about the plans, the plans. This year it's going to be the groundbreakings and the ribbon cutting.
Yeah,
We're
right.
actually going to be doing it all this
There
year.
you
So
go.
this is going to be a big year. 2020 is going to be a year full of groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, and construction things, because projects, all those plans are now becoming projects.
Right.
Which is so much more exciting, because we've been talking about these plans for years, but nobody sees anything.
Well, again, 2020, new vision.
New
You're actually going to
vision.
see it.
That's right.
I
That's
like
right.
that.
Walking and talking.
The plans
It's the
become
year of
clear.
seeing.
Yes. You're going to see clearly
Yes.
it's done.
Yeah, so this one was part of the parks master plan and the parks redesign plans and stuff. So this will be the first one that they're actually breaking ground to do some park renovations and stuff. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Perfect.
So
Sweet.
again, if you're
Yeah,
interested in
super
any
excited.
of these activities or events, you can visit our website, which is www.douglasvillegeorgia.gov, or you can follow us on Facebook, City of Douglasville GA. Same on Instagram, Twitter, we're Douglasville Impact, and Nextdoor as well. So
Everywhere.
yes,
Oh,
We're
get
everywhere.
informed, get involved.
Absolutely. Hashtag
Make an
that.
impact.
Yes, someone should hashtag that. I agree.
Awesome. So that's a lot of great news and events, and that's just a little bit. We've got a whole lot of other events. That's just January,
This month, yes.
and we're already halfway through that.
Yes, we are.
Coming up on February, we've got more stuff. We've got Arbor Day. We've got all kinds of other events coming up. We'll talk about on our next episode. So just stay tuned. We're not going to stop in 2020. It's going
That's
to
right.
just keep going. But it'll be fun.
Again, we're hoping.
It's all good. It's all good stuff. So.
It's all going.
So today, Amy McCoy is joined us today, and Amy's going to help us talk a little bit about the current kind of state of our community. We're at the point, beginning of the year, to start looking at, hey, where are we? We've got the chamber lunch that we do on a monthly basis tomorrow, where we're going to get kind of our economic forecast for the year. One of the things that we look at when we're looking at economic forecasts and where your community is the state of the housing market and real estate. Amy is like the expert on everything real estate, right?
That's what
talking to
they
Amy.
say. I'm
Definitely is.
happy.
She was giving me her list of stuff before the show, and she got like 3 or 4 entities down where she was the president and empress and queen of everything realty. And I was like, that's probably enough. Yeah, so everything that has to do with realty and real estate, Amy McCoy.
Thank you. I like to think I've got a life outside of real estate, but somehow it's all involved. It's all encompassing, which I don't mind, because real estate, I mean, it impacts every bit of everyone's life, whether they think it does or not. Let's say they haven't invested in their own particular home, but if they're renting, I mean, they play a vital part in the way the economy still rolls. Just the money is going out to someone else's pocket. But, Douglas County is in a great state. We have, from 2018, we were the only county that saw a 16% property value increase. I'm waiting to see what happens out of how we ended 2019. I subscribe to Metro Studies, so I get a lot of those same formats that they're going to be doing the economic forecast tomorrow, which as a member of the chamber, if you're not a member, make sure you become a member. It definitely keep you informed. Sorry for the quick little pub, but I love my city. I love the city of Douglasville. I live in the city of Douglasville. I live in Douglas County. My company is located here in Lithia Springs, and this is where I started my real estate career. So it's very important for me to be involved just to make sure that my money is growing in the properties that I own, in the businesses that I invest, and then for my clients, that they see the return that they want to see. We were so heavily hit, not to turn negative, but we were so heavily hit with the recession, being fourth in the nation in foreclosure. I mean, not foreclosures, but bankruptcies, and second, like in foreclosure. So to come out of that, I mean, we're resilient, and we have done a phenomenal job. The leadership that's here in Douglas County has done an impeccable job to make sure that we're seeing this type of success that we are seeing. Economic Development Authority has done a phenomenal job and seeking out the big companies, the big guys. Feel free to call me. But to get them involved in our county and city to bring that money that we need for our schools to thrive, for us to find the type of eateries that we want to come to this county that we actually do need. These components really help our real estate market, and we are doing phenomenally well. Our housing prices have grown year after year after year and after year. So, I mean, we're doing very well as of right now. So, but I'm the immediate past president of the West Georgia Board of Realtors.
What does that mean? I always hear that. The
president,
the immediate past president. But like, what? So what is the duties?
I had
What
to
are the
give
duties?
my hat off to somebody else, right?
Okay.
But I mean, it's me being there to still help guide the current president.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
She came along with me, Sherry Davis. She went along with me as my vice president, president-elect, so to speak, and so trying to mentor her into what it's going to take to be into leadership, but still being there for her to help guide her through her year. Because any volunteer organization, being a realtor, it's a paid organization we have to pay to be a part of. But it is the largest trade organization in our nation. We have over 1.4 million members.
Wow.
So, yeah, our little 436 members, I'm so proud of y'all. But, I mean, that's the small part to the puzzle. I served on the Federal Finance and Housing Policy Committee with the National Association of Realtors, which was very big because, as you probably know or may not know, but in 2019, we was able to get a lot of major initiatives passed, like for VA loans. Now a veteran can get more than one house using their eligibility certificate. And there's no longer a cap. So where it used to be at $475,000, one, if you can own that home as a veteran at $475,000, kudos, But say you went off after you retire, from the military or wherever your next step was, but you became an entrepreneur and you can afford $1 million home or whatever. You want to be able to still have that same access to utilizing your voucher because that's what you went and fought for our country for.
Sure.
So we wanted to make sure we expanded those opportunities for them. So now there's no longer a cap. Plus, in other parts of our nation, a $475,000 house is a shack. Right. So, we wanted to make sure that was accessible for a lot of people that have that opportunity. Yeah. We expanded FHA eligibility with condominiums. In the United States, you would only get 10% of those communities across the nation that were even eligible for FHA, and we've now increased that to 35%. Historically, it went down from 10 to 4% because a lot of these HOAs said, well, no, we don't want to pay to keep being a part of it. But it is the most affordable option for people that say, I don't want necessarily a single family home. I don't want to do the yard maintenance. I don't want to do all this stuff. I want ownership. Right. Because ownership is your stake in your community. Your invested interest, and it is important to own a home. But that's really what it is. Right. And so we wanted to expand that opportunity. Plus, for people, say, on the west side of our community, USDA loans. That's another 100% government-backed loan that before it was just as hard as a VA loan and an FHA loan to pass for certification. And so the home had to be ready, done, move-in ready. Well, now they're opting to do renovation loans. So, and a lot with the USDA loans, separate from like FHA, when they count your student loans. Student loan debt is a huge issue when it comes to owning a home. And so they would count for like 1% of that loan is what your payment, even though that may not be what your payment is, but they account for that with your debt to income ratio. Well, USDA loans only count for 0.5%. And then it is based on your income. So there's a lot of supplemental factors that go into that. So I could bore y'all with all those details as y'all are, but the moral of the story is we're expanding those opportunities for people to become homeowners, and which is very crucial. Again, you know, you want to have these type of accesses for people. So.
Is there a good place for people to go to get that information that you were just talking about? Like, is
Well,
there a
sure,
website?
you just call Amy McCoy. But anytime you want to look up any of this information, you know, Google, you know, just look up what FHA loans are about, USDA loans. If it's better to get a conventional loan versus an FHA loan. Conventional has great programs. There are a couple of 100% options with those, just the way that it's put together. If you're concerned about a down payment, first of all, I always tell people, have some skin in the game. If you walk in and you're not paying anything, what's the likelihood you're going to maintain that property because you're not prepared, you know? And so I always say have some sweat equity in the property or some skin in the game. You know, do some repairs you can do yourself. But most importantly, there are some options for down payment assistance if you're wanting to put more money down. Just know that with down payment assistance, you're paying like a 1.75 PMI. So you're already getting that penalty, but you also may have to pay an extra % for utilizing the down payment assistance. Your credit score might be. So there's so many different nuances that, you know, get yourself a professional. I myself am a realtor. Again, that's a trade organization. We pay to honor a code of ethics and be more professionals in our in our communities. But I'm also a Realtors, the Realtors organization, which is the Empire Board of Realtors here in Atlanta, one of the oldest trade organizations, African-American trade organizations, established in 1939 when African-Americans weren't allowed to be realtors. So about 40 years ago, not that long ago. But the thing about it is, the Realtors organization, we fought for a lot of the property rights. We celebrate for democracy and housing. And it's not just about African Americans. We advocate for all. Along with the Realtor organization, I mean, we have accomplished so much. So definitely, I always suggest hire yourself a professional. There's a lot of companies out here that are online that don't see the property, but they swear they have a value for you. And then next thing you know, when you go to closing, it's totally different. And you've paid more in fees than you did paying a professional their commission. And trust me, we are so well worth it, especially when you get those 11:59 phone calls at night. Please. But hire a professional more than anything.
Absolutely.
So.
And can they go to like the West Georgia Board of Realtors? And
westgeorgiaboard.org is our board website. I'm a quick pub myself, if you don't mind. But Amy McCoy, broker owner of My Hometown Realty Group. Again, 770-941-0881 is our office number, or myhometownatl.com.
Awesome.
Nice.
Love it.
So you talked about the different kind of levels of home, and I know that there's been a real focus in the community to make sure that we have a diverse catalog of homes available in the area. So you want to have the $1 million homes or the $400,000 homes, and what's cool about Douglasville is we have that. We also have some more middle of the road type homes. We also have some really cute, affordable single family homes, but a diverse catalog of single family homes, multifamily homes, larger homes, smaller homes. There's a big array of homes throughout the community.
There is. So nationally, the ideal buyer right now, I mean, everybody's an ideal buyer. Don't get me wrong. But when you look at who the current leader in buyers are right now, it is the single female. Right now, statistically, it's showing that not everyone's ready to start a family right away. But you have the baby boomers who may be retiring, who are now have become what we call empty nesters, right? So they're trading in babies for fur babies, right? Fur babies, your pets. Okay, I had one, yes, sir. But I know. But the thing about it is we may not need those 3-4 bedroom floor plans. We may not need the 2,000 square foot. I myself hate cutting grass. So I live in the beautiful Tributary, and I love being on my little 1/10 of an acre. You know, I love that my HOA will do my front yard. And then when my yard man can come cut my little patch of grass, my allergies just won't let me go roll in the grass like I want to.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, kind of keeping those things in mind, you may not need a 2-story home. A single, a one level could work for someone. I mean, in me personally, you utilize your home much more. But you know, as people are starting to stay in their homes longer, you have more multi-generational housing. We need more of that. More building of duplexes, quads, things like that, multifamily. I think those options will be very key for Douglasville if we can attract those type of builders to come into Douglas County with some of these master plans that are coming in. We have to consider dense type living. Not everybody wants the full acre. Or like in some parts of our county, you have 3-acre minimums. You know, I get it. We're holding on to the land. We're preserving, conserving. If I can get my words together here. I think I had whatever you had. No. But for conservation purposes, you know, not everybody's into that, you know.
Right.
Again, having to pay for a yard person. I just want a kitchen that looks like I know what I'm doing, but I don't have to have this elaborate kitchen.
Oh, I want the
But it
elaborate
is
kitchen.
what I chose my house for. Just make it look like I know what I'm doing. But, you know, we just have to kind of look at what the ideal buyer, like what the buyers are looking like right now and how can we attract them. If we're going to have where, you know, mom or dad is staying at home. I mean, for the longest, my brother lived with me. Came back from the war, PTSD, you know, things like that. So it took a while for him to kind of get back into things. So trying to find housing that, you know, I don't want my brother knowing everything I got going on, right? I don't want to know everything he's got going on. So kind of finding those spaces, finding, you know, if we had people that were interested in building duplexes, FHA loans, VA loans, they fund stuff like that. And what's the best way to invest in yourself, having someone else pay your mortgage while you still live in the property, right?
Oh, yeah.
FHA, you can qualify for an FHA loan up to 4 units as long as you're living in one. So that is a great way to start your investment portfolio if you're looking to build long-term wealth down the road.
Yeah.
I see y'all's wheels turning in your head like, wow, maybe I need to invest.
Yeah, right.
Yes, you do. Give me a call.
Yeah, I think it's great to look, like you said, look at the buyers that are coming in and see what's hot on the market. And I think what gets lost sometimes, I guess people look at, well, the townhomes and the smaller units and things like that, and they associate them with, you know, a cheaper aesthetic and things like that. And what's important to note is it's not necessarily that's just what someone can afford. Sometimes that's what someone wants.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, a townhome is a huge popular thing, and when you look at like the design aesthetics, like in Tributary and things like that, when they're held to those kind of design standards, you still have a really nice property value, even though it's a smaller unit, because that's what you want.
Right.
To live in, right?
Absolutely. And I've grown up in other places, other countries, other states like California. I once upon a time was going to move to New York, but the blizzard made me change my mind. And so I went to live on the beach in California. But you can have even what you could see on the north side of town of Atlanta, you can have $1 million estates next to industrial. Not to say that's what we want, but you can go from an 1,800 square foot to a 3,000 square foot. You know, it's a certain uniqueness. If we continue down the journey, and it's something I celebrate our leaders, and I really hope that they will reconsider these 1,800 square foot minimums with building properties, because again, not everybody's looking for that. My favorite home I've ever owned was the nanny's quarters to Congressman John Lewis's house before he bought it. I bought it from her estate, the nanny's estate. It was 900 square feet because I added on to make it 900 square feet. Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you can, because any house can be a home. It's what you make of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying we have to just have 4 walls, a tin roof, and like dirt for floor, but some people call that home. You know, it's about what you make of it. I liked it because it was private. It sat 700 feet into a tree line, and if you came down my driveway, I had probably had something waiting for me. But, it was that privacy. And that was in the city of Atlanta. So, it's kind of like, wow, it felt so country, but yet it was in the city.
Right.
Yeah.
So, any opportunity where someone can own, it doesn't have to be this large McMansion, which I think Georgia kind of started setting this precedence about 20 plus years ago about, if you got this big house, 3,000 square foot, that's a McMansion. Again, not everybody knows how to maintain 3,000 square feet. You don't get it when our temperatures, our climate is so out of whack. I think we're at 70 degrees right now, but it's cold rain. I'll be in flip-flops by tomorrow, right? So you have these outrageous gas bills, outrageous electric bills, and so it comes into maintaining those assets. And so I think it's important to just educate yourself about the communities. Yes, we want to live in Douglasville, but maybe I just can't afford the big house. Our average resales right now are about $170,000, which is really good. If you make about $60,000 a year, you probably will afford that home. Property taxes, insurance, a lot of those things play a big factor in the qualifying of a home. Where I live in the Tributary, because I'm in the city limits, my tax bill is over $4,000 a month, right? But when I lived in northern Douglasville, for my whole acre, I was paying less than $1,200 a month. So sometimes you may think, okay, I qualify for $200,000, but then the property tax bill comes in, and then, okay, maybe you don't afford that much. Maybe you need to now focus around 150, or the community you live in, like the Tributary where I live. And again, I love my community. I love my neighbors. First off, I got some awesome neighbors. My neighbor came and pressure washed my house, and I was just like, "You're my best friend." But we also pay monthly HOAs of $215. That's huge. There's a lot of communities where you're paying $600 a year and you may not get anything, So there's a lot.
Very active as
We're
well.
very active. If you've ever gone to a bar crawl, wait till you attend our porch crawl. Okay?
I heard y'all have a great Easter celebration.
We have, I think they had some people that came and did jingles, jinglers, what are the carolers?
Carolers.
Yeah, jinglers. Just making up some stuff. But carolers during Christmas, but we also have during Halloween. They have to block off Riverside, and you've got bus loads, a lot of inner city youth that come from other schools that maybe don't have great neighborhoods that they can actually go trick-or-treating in. I love it that they come, to our neighborhood.
That's
when
cool.
I first bought in there, I closed literally the day after Halloween because I heard it was like 1,500 kids before. And I was like,
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. Yeah, exactly. I'm not ready. So then the next year was over 1,800 kids.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I ran out of candy in the first hour. This past Halloween, I thought I was being smart by buying like boxes and having them shipped to my house. They were the cheap candy. Yeah, it wasn't cute.
You were that house.
I was that house. But let me just say, I'm glad we had hurricane winds that day and it was cold because I was kind of embarrassed about the candy I was passing out. I was like, oh, well, maybe they'll come back.
A whole box.
Yeah, I still have one of those boxes at the house, and I'm like, baby girl, you want to sell this candy at school? Might not have friends afterwards, but But yeah, it's a great community, and there's a lot of communities that are like that, similar. Maybe don't have the high HOA or the activities, but there's a lot of communities that are coming up of quality built, and so I'm glad to see that our county is seeing the type of growth that it is. It is necessary for us to build because nationwide there is a shortage of housing right now of what's being built. The supply and demand it's really tough. I am thankful for it because it's why we haven't hit a bubble yet.
Right. Yeah.
Cheers to the movie industry that's really helped out Douglas County a lot too.
Absolutely.
But it's those type of things that is helping us from peaking too much on our values.
Yeah.
So we just need to have more array of different type of houses. If you build the same type of product, your values become stagnant. And it's only depending on what street you live on and things like that. And then we have to kind of be cautious of that. We have to look at the maintaining standards of the property and how someone keeps its condition and different things like that. So
Absolutely.
like I said, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Well, I mean, I think in general, it's just good to see that we're back to a state where houses are selling again.
Yes.
Developers are developing again.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like even last year, the ramp up has started, so even more is coming.
Oh, yeah.
So
just seeing now that they got rid of a lot of the pipe farm issues, like them tackling a lot of those issues, really kind of helped in terms of opportunities for builders to come back.
Yeah.
Because that's what we need. You know, the I don't want to say regime change, but our leadership change has really started spawning and bringing people back to Douglas County because of maybe hindrances before. It's now gotten to a point where Douglas County, it really is where you want to be. That's why big business is flocking this way.
yeah, we're getting a lot of growth in the business side and the residential side. We're getting people on Facebook saying how they really want to come and move to Douglasville and stuff. We love to hear it.
Absolutely.
And we love that your job is literally to get more people to come live here.
Absolutely. Again, give me a call. But most importantly, not to go off topic too much, but making sure that the people that live in our county, in our city, and those wanting to come, the census is coming out. There's going to be some vital resources that this county is going to need because of the growth. Even if we have to go into far as to redistrict lines and things like that, we need to know where people are going to reside at. So we can make sure that there's proper funding in those areas so we can keep Douglasville beautiful.
Right.
So we
Definitely.
can, have Douglas County at the forefront of our mind and making sure that it remains a great place to live. So.
Yeah, we've had a big decade. We had a lot of growth and stuff, and it's still coming. And we are at the point. This is when we count.
Yes.
So when we put out all those numbers, you see all the numbers about we got this many people in our population, this many people in the city, this many people in the county. This is where those come from, and this is where we see what that growth has looked like over the last decade, and where we can project where that growth needs to go over the next decade, and where to put the dollars, and where to apply for dollars and different things like that. So
April
there's a lot
1st,
of
April 1st,
big
Census Day.
importance.
Yeah, it's going to be imperative for people to get out there. One, because, even for our schools, I love how much our schools have, I don't want to say changed, but oh my God, they've just went phenomenal, off the Richter scales with these STEM programs. When I got the honor to read on the Teacher of the Year and being able to grade some of those, I was like, man, I really wish she was my teacher.
There's some impressive teachers out
Only
there,
5
right?
years ago, though, right? Don't mind the gray hairs, right? But, I really wish these are the type of teachers that I had when I came back from Germany. We reside in Clayton County.
Well, that's where I'm from.
Oh, Clayco.
Yes.
But, being now in Douglas County, I've lived in Fulton County, Clayton County. Man, Douglas County is where it's at. If you want to grow your family, or even if you want to be single like me for a while, but it is a great place to expand, great place to grow, even to start your business. Again, another pub to the chamber. Y'all don't slap my hand after the end of this, okay? But
No, we
these
love
are,
the chamber.
I was gonna say we like
Yeah.
the chamber.
yeah,
They're our friends.
those resources are phenomenal when
Yeah.
you're starting your business. No matter what your demographic is, they are conscious and they are intentional to make sure that you're thriving in this this county. I can appreciate that they partnered with us last year when we brought a national speaker, Joseph Green, to talk about the power of diversity and inclusion, not just from a real estate point of view, but from a business point of view. I mean, it's like a holistic approach on how it's okay to work with someone else that may not look like you or believe the same way you do, or who knows what it could be. But, I love the growth that this county has seen and the diversity. I mean, it's big, really big.
Yeah. It's fun to be here.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, that is awesome. We appreciate all that you were doing
Thank you.
to help bring people to our community and help to put people in their dream homes and where they want to be so they can start building their family and their future and their lives here in Douglasville, Douglas County.
Awesome.
All fun
Thank you.
stuff. So,
If I can just say one more
Absolutely.
thing. With the Empire Board of Realtors, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, NAREB, we have a 2M5 initiative. That's 2 million more homeowners over the next 5 years, right? There are 1.7 million millennials that don't know that they can own a home. They make over $100,000 a year, and these are people we want to reach. I know, right? I want to meet those people, right?
I do too. I do too.
I want to be one of those.
Yeah,
I want to be one of those folks.
I want to see what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. But they're
my
in those
heroes.
tech fields, different things like that. But they don't realize that they can be homeowners. And so we actually have a housethenthecar.com initiative. So it's teaching people that you can own a home before you own a car. Most people think when you first get out, whether they're running off to the military, I got to go buy a car. Okay, now you've gotten more debt. You know, when you run off to school and you get all this financial aid, right? We think it's financial aid. Let me go spend it on my housing. Let me go do it. I need that new outfit, right? You know, you don't. If you get a house, you'd be surprised the equity that you've built up in there. It's why I don't have student loans. We was able to pay off debt. When the market crashed, when I bought that little 900, well, at the time, 800 square foot, I bought that cash because, again, I was trying to build my life up.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that at that time, the real estate market wasn't going to love anybody back because that was when the recession happened. So you're able to leverage some of the equity to help pay, to start businesses, pay off student loans, buy that car that you want, and probably own it without having to have a note on it. So utilizing equity in a home can do a lot for you. So again, housethenthecar.com is our new initiative.
Cool.
And so check it out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. You sound like you got all kinds of stuff going on.
So much.
Yeah.
So much. I do have a life, though.
Outside of real estate, though? Well, thanks for coming on and telling us everything that's going on. Amy.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us again. That'll probably wrap it up. We're probably way beyond our show, and Steve's probably out there yelling at us. All right, so thank you guys for joining us at the table. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. We'll see you next time on Douglasville Impact.